If teleportation was to become a form of travel, would you trust it? Or would you feel like Spock?
I was gonna say because I even just watched the most recent of the new ones, and even what's his name, Scotty. Even he doesn't seem to trust it, depending on what year of model it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the initial on the Franklin, the USS Franklin, the teleporter was only used for cargo. It wasn't used for live things yet.
Oh my!
So when they have to use it in a bind, he was like, he teleports Spock and then Bones separately. Because he was like, I wasn't sure if you guys were going to splice. And then Bones was like, I literally can't think of a worse fate than being melded with Spock.
Or a fly.
Carl Urban's really great as Bones in that series.
Yeah, he is actually.
I wish
there, is it, like, did they, like, what was the last one? Wrath of Khan?
No, that's the second one.
That's right.
Where what do I call him? Cumberbottom.
Cumberbottom. Benekich
where he's Khan in the second one. The third one's Into Darkness.
That's right. Who's the bad guy in that one?
Crawl, I think his name is.
Is that's with they reverse it. So Spock's looking for Kirk in that, right? Because Kirk sacrifices himself instead of Spock.
Yeah, no, he's alive by the end of the second one.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
they kind of did like search for Spock and Wrath of Khan kind of together type thing?
Yeah, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But answer your question, yeah, it depends on the model.
Oh, yeah, I had a question.
Depends on the model.
Depends on the model. Let's go.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob. This is Tommy and Jacob's
mixtape. Hey, everybody.
There we go.
Sorry, I forgot we were recording. How's everyone doing today?
I hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday time. And I believe, actually, let me double check something real quick. Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Christmas Eve. The episode releasing on Christmas Eve.
Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. Look at that.
Also, it's like, isn't it weird like how like there's people that say Happy Christmas and some people that say Merry Christmas? Is Merry Christmas more an American thing?
Yeah, I mean, think of any British. They always say Happy Christmas. Even in this, they say Happy Christmas.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's
why
Harry
Potter, they say Happy Christmas.
Oh, they do say that in Harry Potter too, don't they?
I think it's a very much like a...
What does Feliz Navidad translate into? Is that Happy Christmas or is that Merry Christmas?
I don't know.
Feliz Navidad.
Okay.
Feliz Navidad.
Thank you for joining us this fine Christmas Eve. Today we are going to be reviewing The Holiday.
Hey, it's a holiday on the holiday. Sorry. Okay.
We kind of planned it, Jacob. It's not a real surprise if we planned it. Anyways.
Well, fine. But yes, The Holiday, which fairly well reviewed, actually.
Yeah, for a cheeky holiday movie.
I like it a lot. So yeah, it got a 6.9 on IMDb. It's got a 49 Rotten Tomato meter, but an 80 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Which that kind of makes sense to me. And then a 52 Metacritic. So it's like I literally feel like it's just like divided.
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, because even with the critics' reviews on Metacritic, there are 10 positive, 15 negative. Oh, I'm sorry, 15 mixed, and then 2 negative.
Yeah. So, and I can see what there is negative about this movie, but I think it's all positive. It was released.
Yeah.
It was premiered November 29th, but globally released, or I guess mainly released December 8th is what I'm trying to say. 2006.
2006. Released December 8th, 2006.
Hi guys, I'm back. I was really surprised with its box office, actually.
I was too.
So like domestically, it did 45, so it did okay in the States, but worldwide, it was number 18, which I guess doesn't surprise me, but does. You know what I mean?
Not really.
I think it was more of like that's a big jump, 45 to 18.
Oh yeah. Well, I just thought it was interesting how well it did internationally.
I think Nancy Meyer is really the reason for that.
Sorry, I have an exploded pen in my hand.
Oh no! I saw you do that. I was like, "What's happening?"
I don't know what. Okay, I'll get that later.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't want to put it in my bag. I don't want to put it on the couch.
Yeah, I don't want to put it on the table.
Yeah, I don't want to put it anywhere. On the floor.
Put it on the concrete floor.
I just chucked the pen across the room.
Okay. Yeah, so let's focus up. Do you have numbers?
Numbers what? Sorry.
Box office.
Oh, yeah. So a budget of $85 million, grossed altogether $205 million internationally. It
was like
68 million. That's what I was saying is interesting. 68 million domestically and 142 internationally.
It's literally like a third was domestically, and then the other 2/3 was everywhere else.
Yeah, I know it just did. And I mean, maybe also because of the fact that like half of it was in the States, half of it was.
I think that's a big thing.
You know,
like it's kind of like it's a British movie, and I mean it was filmed in London, in UK, and filmed in LA.
Yeah,
like between the two, like split. I think mainly filmed in LA though. I think it was just kind of more like little cottage and like
the little town
and the town and whatnot was more filmed over in the UK.
I guess there are some more like
because you can
destinations in the LA scenes.
Yeah,
there's like the restaurants and then there's the hall
and like like Jude Law's house can be a sound stage, you know, or a house that could be a house in LA. Like that was a nice house. But like the little house, like Iris's little cottage, that felt like that was very much filmed on like a location.
Well, the cottage was built.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the cottage was built. Took them about.
So it was built in L.A.?
I actually don't know where it was built. I meant to look that up, but I told you. But I was reading that it was built and that it almost looked a little too new, so they took like 3 weeks to age it up.
Oh.
So they built it and they're like, oh, this looks a little too. Let's
not worn in.
Yeah, not worn in.
That's a cute little cottage. So as I said, do you have our synopsis?
So I'm trying to keep it under 10 words.
Yes.
An international house swap leads to love, predictable yet sweet.
Yeah. It's sweet.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh yeah. So her the Rose Cottage was built in a field. The producers over the course of 2 days.
Okay.
Amanda's mansion is real and in San Marino, California. So I think the cottage is probably more on location. And then, so on and so forth. Anyways.
This is written and directed by Nancy Meyers.
Yet again, someone that I really, really like and just didn't know.
You know, what's interesting is like when I saw that this was written and directed by her, I was like, oh, of course, that makes sense. But like when this came out, like obviously, when it came out or when I watched it, I should say, because I don't think I watched it till like 2009, my first time. I'd known about Something's Got to Give, but I couldn't tell you that it was Nancy Meyer. Nancy Meyer wasn't on my radar. She became more on my like radar as like of a filmmaker until like within the last 15 years, more or less. Last decade, I guess, because like with the Intern, like movies that she's done, like recent years, she's only written and directed her stuff. Like, and most of it, she's only directed one movie she didn't write, and that's What Women Want. So like she started as a writer in her early career with her husband, like her and her husband, well now ex-husband, started as like writing partners on stuff, with like she got nominated to Oscar for Private Benjamin, starring Goldie Hawn, and then she did the remake of Father of the Bride.
She wrote Baby Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Do love Baby Boom.
I didn't really recognize a lot of the movies that she wrote except for like Father of the Bride, which like out of like that she didn't direct as well.
Yeah, Jumping Jack Flash sticks out to me.
Oh, I didn't see that one actually.
She did screenplay.
And she also worked on Sister Act. I guess I didn't fully look at her screenplay list or writing list that hard. Sorry, I think I got this right. She got her directing debut with Parent Trap, right?
The Parent Trap.
That's right. That was her directing debut was Parent Trap, another remake. So she's familiar with remakes type stuff, you know, with Father of the Bride. And Father of the Bride 2 is technically a remake as well.
I've actually never seen Father of the Bride.
I don't remember it. I just remember watching it as a kid with my mom. But yeah, I was surprised to see that she directed What Women Want, because I mean it's definitely that it has a little bit that's an interesting. I really like that movie, but it's interesting because I feel like I feel like it does still very much cater to the male gaze in a big way.
It's a touchy movie,
but it is definitely a movie it's about a man breaking out of that
his
cycle.
toxic. Yeah, his toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some more moments.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, but also like just with Nancy Meyer in general, her whole shtick. I feel like a lot of the time she does kind of like movies, even like Something's Got to Give is a little like.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's complicated. It's like.
I mean, I haven't seen like It's Complicated or The Intern, any of her like more recent stuff.
The Intern's really good,
but
actually.
She has definitely like got like she's like credited for like making like she's made a huge impact on the romantic comedy like genre, and like she's really made it like she's like Something's Got to Give is like an award-winning movie or something, and but also to make like two older people as a romantic comedy. Like studios didn't think Something's Got to Give was going to be a hit, and it was a surprise hit.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say too. I think she takes kind of she has the thumbprint we always talk about with directors and writers and stuff. Mm-hmm. She is able at taking these kind of bizarre situations, these kind of really extreme bizarre situations that you never really get to see on screen, and she makes them work.
Yeah,
she has really good writing when it comes to like heartfelt. There's still a lot of
humor. She really knows her characters.
Yeah, she's really good at making full-fledged people.
Yeah,
that you end up kind of caring about,
and you can connect with easily.
Yeah, like she's really good.
But it's also she knows how to make the people that you don't want to connect with fucking slime balls.
Yeah, like she's a very good character actor and a character writer.
Yeah,
and
there's also like things that I saw while I was doing a little bit of research on her is like she's really big about like the environment as well as a character. So like that's why like Amanda's house is so big in this, is like it's like that it's a representation of Amanda, and then like the cottage is so quaint and whatnot as a representation of Iris.
Yeah,
so. Like she puts a lot of like attention to detail and missing scene and stuff and whatnot to help not only have the scene in this set be a character, but be a representation of the world.
Yeah.
And one of the criticism that I was looking at about with her is just kind of like a lot of it is very much through like it's a white feminist point of view, so it's very much about like the upper class white woman's experience. Which is fair, but which is probably, I mean, that's probably what she is and has been. That's what she knows how to write from.
Yeah, it's a perspective that she knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
it's complicated. Something's Got to Give. The Holiday.
I really want to see The Intern. I forgot that movie even came out.
I remember really enjoying The Intern. Because I only saw it once, but I remember really enjoying it.
Because Anne Hathaway and De Niro's like relationship, it's almost turns into like a father-daughter type thing in a weird way, right?
Yeah, I thought they were father and daughter. Maybe I'm misconstruing it for it ends up happening like that.
I know, like he just I mean, the whole premise of that movie is like him just going and starting over, yeah,
in his older age,
yeah,
and in the
that's
hustle
the
and
thing,
bustle.
As she's gotten as especially since Something's Got to Give, and like I think The Holiday was just kind of like she just maybe something she wanted to write. Mm-hmm. She definitely likes to focus on there being like an older protagonist, like an older generation of person and their story, and that the like so much of Hollywood is like set on looking at the young people falling in love, or like this movie is very much the people in their like late 30s and like they're losing of love or falling in love again type stuff and whatnot.
Well, yeah, because even It's Complicated too. It's like they were.
Yeah, Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin. Yeah, they're already divorced.
Yeah,
he's remarried.
And then like a whole kind of like affair situation happens, and it's like a rekindling of their old love life thing. Yeah, and it's a very interesting take on it. Like we skipped the college; they were already together. They already had their falling out years and years ago. Let's see what happens when you
later in life
when you put them back together. What's gonna go? It's an interesting take on it.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely really like. I mean, she just. Has very interesting concepts that it's like I don't care if it's a chick flick or a rom-com or what have you. This is fucking interesting to watch, and it's refreshing and original and new in a way.
Well, even Baby Boom too. If you jump back,
I don't remember Baby Boom. I don't think I've seen it.
Diane Keaton is powerhouse career lady with her like powerhouse husband and everything.
What year is this? Is it like 90s?
80.
Late 80s?
I think late 80s.
Oh, yeah. That's you don't need to get it.
87.
Okay.
Yeah. But what happens is like I think it's her cousin and her husband end up dying in a car accident, and she inherits their baby.
Oh, shit.
Like the baby's left as like
I feel like this may where that trope started then, because that's like a sitcom trope.
Yeah, but it's like her.
Or she
like,
took that sitcom trope and made it fresh and new.
But then it's like, she's like battling against like taking care of this child, and it's like, I'm not right for this, like because she's
the businesswoman that's like, she's Cameron Diaz in this movie type thing.
Yeah, she's no all business no play kind of type, but then this baby starts kind of awakening,
and then she gets the baby. Sorry.
What is this afternoon disc jockey? Like, Jacob and the douche.
Whoa. All right. Yeah. So
but, I mean, because even that, like, that's just a interesting. I think she plays around with interesting, but again, white, successful, middle class woman. Thing.
Well, so I mean, this, like even like Something's Got to Give. They're upper middle class white people. This movie, all same thing. It's complicated, same thing. The Intern, same thing.
I guess even technically Parent Trap,
same thing. What Women Want, same thing.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have this like interesting. I was gonna say corporate, but then Dennis Quaid makes wine in Parent Trap. He owns a vineyard.
Well, that's very white.
But it's technically it's red wine, Jacob. He makes red wine.
All right, let's Nancy Meyers wrote and direct this. It's she's
sorry, we went
off
on
great.
Nancy Meyers for a while.
We did. All right, let's go into starring, since this which is nice. I mean, again, like, love it when we got to writer and director the same person.
Yeah, easy peasy. But we still take so long on it though.
Yeah, I know.
You think it'd make it faster?
Like, we got the time to spread out, share the wealth. Nope. Okay. So yeah. Do you want to do just the top four, or do you want to add in Arthur as well? Just do a quick shout out for Arthur, maybe.
I was gonna say do the main four, and then if you want to do an honorable mention.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, let's start with just to go from the build list, whatever. Start with Cameron Diaz, since that'll be short, and we've already talked about her. A year ago when we did There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's in There's Something About Mary, which we reviewed about a year ago, actually.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Started off with The Mask.
Mm-hmm. I think like biggest mentions for me is really like Charlie's Angels, being John Malkovich.
I mean, I might whenever
Vanilla Sky.
I was gonna say when I think of Cameron Diaz, I think of Vanilla Sky. And,
really?
Yeah, because that's
intense
and like
yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's also pretty like.
She's Fiona in Shrek.
Oh yeah, I was forget about that because I don't see her face. Mm-hmm.
I just mentioned that too because that's a pretty long-standing franchise that they're rumored rebooting that she's going to be in again. So.
I don't know if she. I mean, she might because of voice act. She retired in 2014.
Yeah, but the rumor was they're bringing everyone back for this reboot.
I mean, that'd be cool if she does. Also, I mean, so yeah, she retired in 2014. She's got another credit on there, but for something small. What is it? It's just a short video, Boss Bitch Fight Chat. Oh yeah, that was just like the like editing thing for like, you know what I'm talking about?
No,
I think it was during quarantine. Maybe it started happening right before quarantine, but it was just like all like women in Hollywood, like stunt women, action related movie stars, like women, all specifically women, and they kind of did this thing of like the punch at the camera or like an attack towards the camera, and then it would cut and like someone just got hit and they would move back and just kind of like wind up and like go for another punch or like a kick or something, and it just kept going this thing where just like a new actor. It was fun. It was cute.
I think I need to see it because I'm not really grasping what you're trying to tell me.
Well, I mean, you want to show it to like you'll see for like 15 seconds, be like, oh, that's cool, and then be over really quick.
Probably.
Well, like say you're like, oh, I want to see this person, but here it is. Yes, she retired and like kind of started like investing in like startups and stuff, and like has like a vineyard.
Of course.
So yeah, she's more or less done. So yeah, it'd be cool to see her come back and do the voice of Fiona. I mean, yeah.
That's Cameron Diaz.
Let's go to Kate Winslet, who probably what do you think most popularly known for? Titanic?
I would say probably Titanic, and then shortly after Eternal Sunshine.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, Eternal Sunshine, that, and then Revolutionary Road,
which I still need to see. I've heard that's really great.
Wait, what?
Never seen Revolutionary Road.
Oh, I thought you were saying Eternal Sunshine, which I was like,
oh no, no.
No, yeah, I haven't. I think I started watching Revolutionary Road when it kind of first came out.
Isn't that with Leo?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think she's done like 3 movies with Leo, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then more recently, she just did a Mayor of Easttown, which I kind of want to watch. I want to see her do a Philly accent and just eat Philly cheesesteaks. That's what I remember SNL doing the bit, like she's just like eating Philly cheesesteaks and has this like awesome Philly accent through the entire movie or show. It's an HBO original series.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think it's a mini series. I don't think it's going to go any longer. Got any other you want to throw out from her as well?
I'm just looking. I saw she's in a
lot of stuff.
She plays Baba Yaga in a short called Baba Yaga, which I'm kind of interested in that.
Mm-hmm. I know she's in one of the shorts in movie 43. I think she's on a date with Hugh Jackman, if I remember correctly. I think she's that scene.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the biggest ones for me. I'm trying to figure out anything. No, I don't think of anything else. All right.
Where are your notes?
They're right here.
Oh, I was like, I thought you were just literally just looking at everything on your laptop. I was like,
oh, no.
Oh, this is new.
No, they're in front of me. It's like I don't really have a lot to say for Kate Winslet too, because like when I was looking at her, I haven't watched a lot of her stuff.
Yeah, no, I was actually kind of realizing that too. It was like I really haven't seen a lot of stuff that she's in, but I mean, I recognize her immediately. And I feel like I've seen her in a lot more stuff than I actually have.
Yeah, it's just one of those. She's really famous to me, but just because she also is in like at least 2 huge movies for
like she's in one
our
of the
age too.
I mean, Titanic's one of the biggest selling movies of all, and it was the biggest selling movie for a long time. What is it? What, Shrek 2 took it over, or Avatar took it over, or something?
Like Avatar, I think,
or maybe it was Spider-Man 2 first, then whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but let's move next to how about Jude Law?
Jude Law.
I know.
Have we talked about it? Well, no, we talked about him.
We've talked about him before.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to bring up the movie, one of your favorite movies from him.
AI.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh
yeah.
no, I was being sarcastic. I think that movie's the most depressing thing on the face of the planet.
Oh, well, that could still be one of your favorite movies, and maybe you just want to be depressed sometimes.
No, good.
I'm waiting for you to say Alfie.
Oh yeah, Alfie is pretty good.
What? Oh my god! Every time we talk about Jude Law, you bring up Alfie, and now you're not
because he's kind of an Alfie. Okay, this is off camera, but we were looking up Jude Law and just curious about his life, and he's got a lot of kids.
Yeah, he does.
He's got like 6 kids, and it was just like,
and they're not all the same person.
And he's been married like 3 times. I was like, oh, he's actually kind of like an Alfie, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean like he's. Apparently, Jude Law is just wonderful. He's a very sweet human being.
He's very charming, apparently, because think about it.
He's been married a lot and has had a lot of kids.
Yeah.
6 is a lot of kids to me. Probably most noticeable from recent years, probably Sherlock Holmes. He plays John Watson, Dr. Watson.
He plays young Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay, yeah.
I think one of my favorite roles from him is I Heart Huckabees.
Yeah. Mentioned it before. He is the main, like, protagonist in Enemy at the Gates, the sniper movie I've mentioned before.
Yeah.
Like I said, AI. He plays a horror robot. Plays a sex worker robot.
At least he can't have any kids with that.
I forgot about that. I was like, wait, who was he in AI? Oh yeah, he was a sex robot. Got it.
All right. So let's move on. Jack Black, which I think this is the only romantic comedy that. No, I guess Shallow Howler. I mean, that's a romantic comedy.
Well, that movie's rough. I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah. But yeah. This is it's a step away from what he normally does, is the best way to put it. Does that make sense? But like Jack Black, I feel like Jack Black's all like, I feel it. You just know, like people say Jack Black and you just know. You don't even have to like list what he's in. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's like
he's got 166 IMDb.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He also is in a band, Tenacious D, and also he has a pretty good social presence to this day. And
he is just a fucking like lovely, friendly dude.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. I think there's a lot of different mediums for you to know who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Not just like, oh, he's an actor, or you know, like.
I mean, what are some, like, just top of your head, like movies that you immediately recognize him from?
Cable Guy, Waterworld.
Really, you go to Waterworld with him, huh?
Yeah, because I just remember him being the bully from Neverending Story.
Number 3.
School of Rock, Jumanji, the reboot, I guess. What would we consider that?
It's technically a sequel.
Okay, the sequels to Jumanji. Yeah, I mean, those are the first things that came to my head.
Man, you're missing one that we've... But
what?
I was waiting for it. Tropic Thunder.
Oh, my God. That hasn't come up in a while.
No, it hasn't. I was like, really? Man,
Yeah.
I'm calling out Alfie. I'm calling out Tropic Thunder. Where are you? Are you really Tommy? And then Orange County I always think about as well because I fucking love that movie.
I think I like Saving Silverman more.
Saving
Because I find those two to be really in the same kind of realm.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
But I remember him being really funny in Saving Silverman.
He kind of plays the same character in both of them.
Oh, fucking the movie I keep bringing up that you haven't seen, Envy. Him and Ben Stiller.
Oh,
like
yeah.
a dark dramedy thing.
Yeah.
King Kong, we brought up that not too long ago.
I mean, yeah. So Jack Black, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally. He's in Goosebumps movies as well. He plays
He
R.L.
plays
Stein.
R.L. Stein.
Yeah. And
Stephen King wishes he could write like me.
And then quick shout out to Eli Wallach, who plays the older gentleman in this movie, Arthur. He's very cute relationship they have. But he's more of a method character actor from like the 60s or like 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah, and he had his 90th birthday on set for this movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they had like a cake for him and stuff.
Yeah, I was actually kind of curious because I obviously didn't recognize him from anything that I've seen. If maybe he was actually kind of playing the writer that he's portrayed in the movie, but it's all fictional type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really kind of cool that they kind of create like his character in the movie is like had a huge impact in Hollywood as the writer he was, and like even just like they make a joke that he added the line in Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid. Like
he added the
kid,
yeah.
which is what makes the line iconic, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then quick little cameos with like Catherine Hahn and John Krasinski.
And Rufus Sewell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's her name from the also in Knight's Tale that plays Maggie.
Oh, Cheyenne Sosamon. Sosamon.
Shannon Sossamon.
Sosamon.
Did you say Cheyenne?
Maybe, I don't know. I was kind of more distracted about her last name. I was like, how
Sossamon. It sounds like a fucking Pokemon.
I was gonna say Digimon
or a Digimon.
Sosamon. Digital monsters.
Sossamon, sassy digital monsters.
Yeah, and Bruce Sewell was the bad guy in Knight's Tale, I guess is.
And he's a fucking bad guy in this too.
Why do I recognize Edward Burns?
I don't know, pull him up, but I mean, you're like in
Saving
the movie?
Private Ryan.
That's fair. I mean, he's got kind of a usable face. You know what I mean?
He's one of those guys that's just kind of been in stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's pretty much like the main cast of it. Yeah, most of them only have like a little bit of screen time, more than like.
Oh yeah, like John Krasinski.
I love when
for a minute.
What I forget exactly what Amanda says, but it's something about like how something is like killing women's sex drive or something, and it's like it's something that she's like, and it's only happening to women. It's not happening to men. And he's just like,
stress.
Oh yeah, stress. And he's like, sorry. Yeah. Very much a Jim response.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah. That's the cast and the crew. Oh, I want to do a quick shout out to composer Hans Zimmerman because Jack Black's character Miles plays a movie composer in this. This movie's got a strange little meta edge to it.
Yeah,
like with like Amanda, like and like the movie trailer stuff that plays over in her mind.
Yeah, but then also like the author,
Arthur being like a film writer and also throwing romantic comedy movies, early romantic comedies at Iris to watch constantly.
Yeah, but then also like Jude Law is an editor, his sister's a writer, and there's a lot of like overlaying themes to everyone, kind of, sort of.
It makes me wonder, Nancy Meyer just spent a lot of time in Hollywood just like looking at people. But yeah, so what do you got for reviews over there, Tommy?
M.E. Russell, the Oregonian. The Oregonian. Despite the familiarity wallow, the holiday is likable, really likable, in fact. a lot of these, like, I was going through, and it seemed like a lot of the critiquing was the formulaic thing, which I kind of want to get into in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But there's like a kind of revolving theme with all these. Okay, let's see. I wrote these lying down, so they're hard to read. Hannah Stevens at Slate. It's far less sickly than plenty of Yuletide offerings. Last year's The Family Stone being one shudder-worthy example, which I just put in there because if you know, you know. Michael Phillips at Chicago Tribune. The Holiday is a 131-minute romantic comedy for those, if they had their way, would still be watching Love Actually.
Ouch!
It's so true.
I like this so much more than Love Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And the last one, the negative one. So the negative one, and Horror Day at Washington Post. This overproduced romantic comedy doesn't even qualify as fluff. It's flat, featureless plastic.
Ouch.
And that's the thing is, like, if you were to go on Metacritic and look at a lot of these, a lot of them seem, like I was saying, a lot of it has to be, there's this problem with it being formulaic, and while watching it, I came to the realization there's not necessarily anything wrong with that.
No.
There's comfort and formulaic. Like,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know what's going to happen. Like, I don't need this kind of movie to have some kind of twist where somebody dies in a car accident to get me to cry. It's like, no, I
or dies of breast cancer.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, it doesn't need to have that. Obviously, with certain writing, it will make it like that. Mm-hmm. Family Stone having that in there gave it a little more of a punch.
Yeah.
That
well, what's interesting is like watching this and thinking back to Family Stone is that Family Stone itself was just kind of like an version of all of it, which is what it's like. It was designed to be the antithesis of a Christmas movie, and by attempting to be a Christmas movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it was inverting all of the classic tropes while still having some of those tropes in there. Like, in a way, like, if you think about, like, Sarah Jessica Parker's character, when she doesn't want to stay in the room with Dermot, you know, as opposed to the parents. So there's a weird inversion of this trope. And there's, like, if you look through like a lot of the movie, like, there's just a lot of inverted ideas like that.
Sibling swap. It's a kick
in the mouth. Kick in the teeth. As opposed to this is very much, it's just very much a straightforward romantic comedy that but is successful like The Family Stone because the characters are so flushed out and likable and relatable in a big way, you know? Like,
yeah, because I mean, even like Kate Winslet on an interview said that it was not hard for her to fall in love with Jack Black. It's not hard for anybody. Like, she herself just even liked Jack Black enough that she had no problem being this character that started having feelings for him because he was such a wonderful person. And that's also important too, because apparently Nancy Meyer wrote these characters with everyone casted and like already in mind.
Yeah.
So she looked at Jack Black and was like, "What kind of character?"
She pretty much wrote Jack Black.
Yeah. So it's just like really like there's also like it was just sweet. There's like, you know, little like already they're like, oh yeah, we get along. It was just nice, you know.
And that's also like that's a credit to Nancy Meyers as well, that she can really just like look at an actor and be like, I know exactly what, like, I can build you when
I can mold you into what I want you to be.
Yeah. Because but it is interesting because with Kate Winslet, like, if that's how Kate Winslet is in real life, that's fucking adorable. But because like Kate Winslet, I feel like this is one of the most lighter roles that she's ever played, because she's always very much like in the drama world, you know, with like, you know, Titanic, Revolutionary Road, The Reader, go on and on and on, you know.
Yeah.
This, she's very like they made her kind of look a little frumpier and like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I wouldn't say frumpy. She's awkward.
Yeah, she's awkward. Yeah. And yeah, it's like
she's clumsy.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Yeah, she's clumsy because like
she's awkward and clumsy.
She's kind of always putting her foot in her mouth, you know, just like walking. She's like walking into the wrong door.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
And like when she walks into the house and she just loses her mind, it's just so it's an unneeded scene, but it's just cute to watch. It's just cute to watch Kate Winslet have a like fun
freak out.
fun freak out. Yeah, so, I mean, let's go to the ultimate question. Is it a Christmas movie?
No.
Why not?
Fun little piece of trivia, too. I don't know. You know the Wombats, right?
The band?
Yeah. No, the animal. Yeah. No, do you know the Wombats very well?
I not really well, no.
Oh,
I mean, I just know of them.
The song "Kill the Director" is apparently about this movie because they didn't like even the lyric. This is no Bridget Jones.
Oh my god!
This is no Bridget Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, I read that. I was like, no way, and I kind of did a little deep dive and was like, oh, okay,
interesting. All right.
Interesting. No, not a Christmas movie.
Why not?
I hate this question. I don't know. It's not. It really, I don't know. This really leans into, this is a romantic comedy that happens to take place during Christmas. And I say that too because it even starts like Christmas is such a side note to it. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, there's a Christmas party. Cool. Whatever. They go on holiday, but they're gone for 2 weeks. So this 2 weeks before Christmas. And we don't even really ever.
Christmas.
It never focuses on it being Christmas. I mean, there's a couple of lines, and it's more of like, "Hey, this is our Christmas Eve. Let's not don't let these fuckheads ruin it."
It's about them going on a holiday.
Let's enjoy our time. Enjoy our time together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it didn't ever once. And it's just one of those. I'm like, I was watching. I was like, do I even know what a Christmas movie is? Because thought this was a Christmas. I'm like, am I gonna watch Love Actually? And be like, no, this is just a really long episode of Jerry Springer. Like.
I know Love Actually has
it's more Christmassy.
It has it like the end of the climax of everything happens on Christmas Day. Like, kind of the climax of this happens on Christmas Eve, I guess.
Yeah, because then and then the end is on New Year's.
Yeah, the last scene of the film.
So it's really about the holiday season. It doesn't really focus on Christmas.
So it's a holiday movie.
Yeah, the holiday is a holiday movie. Who would have thunk it? Whoa!
Yeah, I kind of do agree with you because I feel like if any type of Christmas movie element, it like unfolds to introducing like, oh, it could be a Christmas movie because like it becomes about family when then you learn about Jude Law's kids and the building of a new family type thing, and then like the idea of a Christmas miracle would be. So this movie is very much a movie about Iris and Amanda. They're like, I wouldn't say they both equally share like the main protagonist. You know what I mean? And so like Iris's miracle is her waking up to how much of a jackass Jasper is, like finally snapping out of it and kicking him out.
And Amanda's is finally being able to cry.
Finally crying, yeah.
Which is a weird thing to say. It's like, no, yeah, she was finally able to cry. If you don't know the context, you'd be like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah. Yeah, this woman finally fucking cried, man.
Yeah, like
so yeah, and that's kind of the idea of the Christmas miracle. And I guess those do happen on Christmas Eve, don't they?
Yeah.
She's leaving on Christmas Eve?
Like, yeah.
Well, I guess she's deciding to make things not as hard for.
Well, that's also like even
crybaby
kind of a jump
Graham.
To the end. I'll wait for that.
Yeah,
I'll wait for that point.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I don't think it's like. I mean, like I said, I hadn't really watched this a long time, and I always thought it was a Christmas movie. I thought more of it took place on Christmas.
Well, it's like if someone like listening now is like, no, it's totally a Christmas movie. Like, if in your opinion it's a Christmas movie, great.
Yeah,
awesome. Like this is one of your go-to Christmas movies.
It's on Wikipedia's list of romantic rom-com Christmas movies. So,
yeah, but it's like it's a rom-com.
Yeah, it's just a rom-com that happens on and around the holiday season.
Yeah, around the season.
It's just because the magic that happens. Is that real? Does it really windy in like?
I had never heard of that before.
Really?
I'd heard of those winds.
Mm-hmm. What are they? The San Andes?
The San. I don't remember.
I was expecting you to know this, from California.
I know what those winds are.
Yeah,
but I never heard about this whole like
anything can happen when the San Andes go.
Yeah, like this magical wind thing. I never heard of that before.
That's a nice meet cute though with Jack Black and her.
Yeah,
you know, because he's just being very like innocent and just whatnot, and you can tell she's like, oh, okay.
Well, even like with I was like the second time they said "don't blow away." I'm like, is that going to become their like way of saying "I love you"? Don't blow away. It's like, oh. Stupid meet cute.
Did you tear up a couple times in this movie?
No, it didn't get me that hard.
Damn. It gets me sometimes. It's just like the happiness. Also, Hans Zimmer's music just carries me away. Like, God.
Maybe you and Jack Black should date. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, and that's just but then the question becomes, if you were to take this holiday element out, like, I don't know, if you just made it that they went on vacation.
Like summertime?
Or whenever. They just decided they both happened to, would this movie, and I think that's what the key is. Would this movie work?
If you take out Christmas, does it still work?
It's like, yes.
Yeah.
If there was just two people that coincidentally decided we're having this love life issue and decided to leave at the same time and house swap, would this movie work?
Sorry, the house swap thing. I read that apparently
I did too.
After this movie, it like became super popular, and then in
a spike of murders.
Yeah, like UK London had to start sending out warnings, like be careful of who you choose.
Should we just start? Okay, let's just start talking about it then.
Yeah, you want to go? All right, so the movie begins voiceover with Kate Winslet, and she has this like passage about what love is. There's those who, have found love,
the type of love that you can have.
It's like you have found love and love works or whatever, and then those that have found love that's not working, those that have found love and lost love, those who have finding love only for maybe the night, and those who are worse like her, those with unrequited love.
And it cuts into
and it's like in between that, it's like cutting in between like all of our main characters. You see Jack Black, you see Jude Law, you see Amanda. Wait, do you see Amanda?
I thought you just saw Jude Law. Yeah.
You see Jack Black because he's playing the piano with the two people kissing on the screen.
Right.
And he kisses Maggie's hand and whatnot.
Then you see Cameron Diaz because she's in the car with her husband, her boyfriend, and they're not talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see Jude Law at the pub, and you also see Arthur looking at the picture of his widow, or his he's the widower.
Yeah.
There's two widowers in this. Interesting.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't think about that. And then he goes to Kate Winslet, Iris, and she's a cop. Is she a cop? No, she's a
writer.
What type of writer though? Newspaper article columnist.
Looks like she's a columnist, but specifically like a love section columnist, like weddings and stuff like that.
Yeah, and she's obviously in love with this guy that she works with that's been for 3 years, but he hasn't like returned love, and then he's like goes to like talk to her private, and like it's all
he keeps her on a hook.
Yeah, it's like God, I want to fucking punch this guy so bad.
Like he knows that he has like
he can string her along.
Yeah, like he knows that. So like basically what happens is that they ended up having like a little bit of an affair 3 years ago, but he was also seeing somebody else. So she like told him to fuck off.
In a big way, he's just using her for her talent.
Yeah, to edit his pages, and he wants to keep her close for his own personal little gain.
Yeah, it's like it's a power. It's all about power with her.
Yeah,
like the power that he has. Like he gets he's
a weird little control thing.
Yeah,
but she gives him at their Christmas party. She gives him this first edition of a book that he really wanted or whatever. Like a very sweet, thoughtful gift.
Oh, and he's like, "I got your gift down in the car if you want to come see it." It's like, what?
And he says something like, "You look really hot in it." Like, so he's still like a total sleazeball.
And then seconds later, you find out, he's engaged. He's getting engaged
to the woman that he was also sleeping with 3 years ago. It's like brutal.
It's like, oh God, like that just like made my skin crawl every time because I'm just like, you're like,
when she goes into like total shock, and it shows her like walking out of the office, getting onto the train, walking down the road, getting to her house,
just kind of despondent.
Like not really. And then the second the door closes, just sobbing. You're like, oh no, Kate, no, or Iris, no.
I'll hold you while you cry. It's okay.
And then we get to Amanda. So that's like, this is good. I'll just back up of what's happening in their love life.
This is all exposition.
And then Cameron Diaz, Amanda's character.
To LA.
She is a successful.
Oh, her boyfriend's waking up on the couch.
Yeah, but she's just trying to get what her job is. She's a successful movie
advertisement. She owns her own business for it.
Yeah,
her own company, I guess.
So she's successful, but long story short, she gets the idea that her whatever his name was.
Dumbass.
Yeah, dumbass. Dumbass has been sleeping in class, sleeping with the receptionist. There's this whole back and forth. Ethan is sleeping with his receptionist.
Never gonna be dedicated.
And
I mean, she's got it in her head because he did, and he finally admits it. But I kind of like what's really interesting about that whole like her kicking him out scene is just like how everything just seems to be so casual with him. Like, I guess we're doing this again. Like she throws all of his like clothes or like whatever, like she like kicks him out, closes the door, and he just kind of like casually tosses it to the side, takes a couple steps, turns around. I know she's gonna be up here talking to me. Like, how many times have you done this? You know? And he's like, come on, just let me in. You know, we're gonna blah blah blah. And then,
well, then he also implies that like she's like kind of cut off emotionally.
Yeah.
That's the problem in their relationship.
So they were setting up this like dynamic of like you got the uptight businesswoman which apparently Nancy Meyers is really good about writing. And then you got the clumsy bleeding heart. You know? Yeah, is that right?
Who?
Iris?
Okay, yeah, I thought you meant Ethan. I'm like,
no. I'm talking. I'm sorry. I was going back to Iris.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, it's for like our two protagonists.
Yeah.
You know, so like two opposite sides of the love spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they both what they're.
I would say you would have the realist and the romantic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is how like so Amanda's the realist, and then you have Iris who's the romantic.
The unrequited love.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love when. Like, she's trying to, like, get Ethan to, like, admit that he slept with the receptionist. And, like, it cuts over to the gardener. And he just literally just casually just looks over. Is like,
shakes his head no.
No, like,
don't admit to it.
Don't fucking say it.
Don't say anything. Yeah, that was funny.
And then, yeah, he gets punched in the face and you never see him again.
No, that's right. You don't ever see him again.
Yeah, that's the last time you see him.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that. I didn't put it together.
Because, like, that's why Jack Black's characters throw around. So then it pretty much just cuts into Amanda making a split last minute, like, off the cuff.
Stupid decision.
She just wants to go on vacation. So she starts looking at places and finds Surrey? Yeah, Surrey.
Yeah, Surrey. And then decides to swap houses with a complete stranger with no anything.
Well, she wasn't expecting to be a house swapped situation at first, but yeah.
But then this is like, you want to trade houses? Like, sure.
I do. Their little like conversation though, their chat, it's kind of cute. You know, because you see their honesty and like.
Just people were less careful on the internet in 2006, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, dude. Think 15 years ago, the internet was only 10 years old. Really?
I'm just saying that was brutal. I was like, nothing.
It's to set a plot point forward, Tommy. Sorry.
Brutal.
And yes, though, then they do the swap. They agree to it, and then you have a cute little setup of like Kate Winslet's getting into L.A. and she's like enamored, like, oh, it's whoa, just like so having fun with it, while Cameron Diaz is kind of like
less than stoked.
Yeah, has to like walk like halfway to the little cottage because like the driver's like, oh, I can't turn around if I go down there. Do you mind walking?
Yeah, and she has her like, you know, and it's like very like stereotypical LA girl stuff. She has like 8 million suit. I'm being dramatic, but she has this big ass suitcase. She's wearing these big heels, trudging through the snow. Like, there's a good amount of like little slapstick comedy. Grabbing the branch, the snow falls.
A little bit through like kind of like. Somewhat a little bit through this movie, and I feel like most of it's more through Cameron Diaz's character, which makes sense because she's more of like the uptight character. While I'll say hers is a little bit more, kind of gets more physical than like, while Kate Winslet's like she flubs what she's saying a little bit more.
Yeah, that also makes me wonder if there's a couple scenes cut too, because it has that whole like even how they get their plane rides, like Cameron Diaz.
I mean, good. This movie was already 2 hours 16.
It's long. Amanda's like in first class and like living it up, but then Kate Winslet's in coach, and there's the two like anti-aged women sitting next to her, but they don't really. I thought there was gonna be some kind of like.
I think that's still like it's still kind of. I mean, you just needed one scene of each to establish like what
kind of people they are.
Kate's gonna be the one that's in coach. She's stuck in the middle, and she's obviously gonna have the unfortunate blah blah blah.
Yeah.
While Amanda is still like, even though she's planning this vacation, she's still stuck in her routine, because she says like when like I want to read a book, you know, instead of like just read a magazine or an article. And then while she's on the plane, she has this stack of books she wants to get through, and what's on her chest while she's falling asleep is a magazine.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Pick it up what you're putting down.
It's the attention to detail like that Nancy Meyer's really good at. And so then they get Kate Winslet freaks out, loving the house and whatnot, and then Amanda's just kind of like figuring out how to live in this like archaic cabin compared to what she's used to in L.A.
Yeah, it's a cute little cottage. Like
it looks like it would be like a great little Airbnb, you know, getaway type thing, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, knock on the door. Here comes a fun little meet cute of Graham, Jude Law, literally pissed drunk, about to piss on the fucking porch.
Well, and this thing was so last minute that a lot of people weren't informed.
Yeah, nobody knew that they
swap.
left. Yeah.
So Graham shows up to the cottage to crash at his sister's house, not realizing that someone else lives there now for the time being.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty funny little back and forth.
Yeah.
Like the whole time.
Well, she immediately is like, you can tell like he goes to the bathroom and then she's like fixing her hair and trying to like, she's like, oh my God. Like it's Jude Law's very handsome in this movie. He's a very handsome guy, but there's something about this movie that I note that it's like the way that maybe they got the light on his jaw or something, where like he's a lot more charming looking in this movie.
You got a thing for jaw lines. I hope you realize that.
Yeah. Well, dude, yeah. What? Because it's like, I don't know.
Specifically men's jaw lines. No, but also like it's just Jude Law in general. Just he's always been a very charming, charismatic. He's just got a good energy to him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I even love.
I would love to go have a drink with him, just like hang out with him for. Like,
it's
night,
like, but anything he's in, even like him as a Dumbledore, I just like because he's got this little smile, he's got this little twinkle in his eye. Like I don't know, he's just like, I don't know, he's just entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah, like I enjoy him.
I mean, eventually it just turns into like he just like drunkenly kisses her on accident. Is that kind of like because he just kisses her, and then he's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe accident is the right word, but yeah, he kisses her and was like, sorry, like kind of, I'm drunk. That was really stupid. I apologize. That was my bad.
It was almost like it was like supposed to be a kiss goodnight.
Yeah, it was weird. And there's just like really, and it was one of those like, it's technically like leading to like a sex scene, but it irritated the living shit out of me because the dialogue was kind of funny because it was so uncomfortable and awkward and weird, but they're both being equally uncomfortable and weird.
It's kind of got that weird screwball comedy feel to it, you know?
Like
you're talking about with the Leatherheads, like their banter was just like, but it was like it was as opposed to like being like a euphemism for like, oh, this is like their banter for sex. It was like, no, they're actually bantering about sex.
Yeah, it was really clunky and really weird and. Like, and then it also like follows with the next morning, and it's the same kind of clunky, awkward weirdness between the both of them. Yeah,
but it's also really cute,
too. But it works. Yeah. Like it actually really works.
Because you can tell that they're both people that really are looking for love, but things for them are very complicated, and they don't know how to articulate it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to articulate it in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Like they're skirting it around it, you know?
Yeah.
As opposed to Iris, who just doesn't even know really how to say it at all.
And then, this is how so basically we very quickly get introduced to what's obviously going to be the love interest for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
This is where the predictability,
the pterodactyl.
The pterodactyl comes in, carrying a carrot. Comes in. So Cameron Diaz and Jude Law are going to get together. Let's just end it. That's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But around this time too is when Iris meets.
She has her little meet cute with Miles, but.
And Miles is Ethan's best friend coming to collect his stuff. Again, Miles is unaware that.
But Miles also works with Amanda. I think has worked with Amanda. I'm assuming because like he's a composer and probably is like they just know each other through like.
Well, they know each other through Ethan. They know each other.
Oh, Ethan's a composer too. That's right.
Yeah, Ethan's the composer.
Like they have that little meet cute, but it's more of like her relationship with Arthur first that kind of blossoms that. Then Arthur kind of like fixes the Miles and Iris thing in a way.
Well, I think
from that Hanukkah dinner.
I think the big thing with Arthur being introduced as a character is that they have that first lunch together. So she meets this Amanda's next door neighbor, so her next door neighbor for this vacation, who's this older playwright, like we talked about, screenwriter. And they end up like kind of forming a relationship.
She finds him just wandering on the side of the road, with his walker, and she's like, "Oh no, is he lost?"
So she like takes him home, and she like realizes he's this really interesting, very sweet guy. So she invites him to lunch, and they have this.
She sees his Oscar sitting in his office,
and so they have this whole lunch together. And then Arthur basically finds out that Iris is in LA due to a situation with a guy back home. Mm-hmm. And which I thought was really cool, he then introduces her to a bunch of films with very strong
female leads
with a lot of gumption. He keeps saying a lot of gumption.
A lot of from like the 40s, 50s, you know, the screwball, literally a lot of the screwball comedies. Like they bring up Lady Eve in it.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's more about the like women that kind of, you know, because he also tells her, he's like, you're a leading lady, but you're acting like the best friend.
Yeah, you're not being the leading lady of your own life. Mm-hmm. And I think they very purposely, he starts showing her all these kind of movies to be like, this is who you're supposed to be.
This is who you are. I can see it in you. Actually.
Yeah, but you're in your own shit so much that you're not really shining through, you know? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really cool kind of little thing.
He's a great little mentor type character.
Yeah, and so he's like kind of instilling this confidence back in her. Like, no, this is like, wipe it away. This is who you are. Like, don't let this stupid prick change you.
Yeah.
It's just something you're not, basically.
Yeah. And then essentially what it comes down to end up happening is Miles then comes back to pick up something for Ethan, and it's while Iris has Arthur over with a couple of his friends for like a Hanukkah dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Miles ends up coming in with nothing to do, and then I think Arthur sees a little like connection with them, and then he gets he's like, hey guys, let's get out of here and let these two young ones have the night to themselves, type thing. With
he says, let's leave these young people to do their thing, whatever, and get back to our bedpans.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing, no like hey, get it or anything. Just like we're old people that need to leave.
Yeah.
And then Miles and Iris are having a connection. Miles ends up opening up about his. So I guess that's a little bit later. I think this kind of like just breaks down into. It just kind of they start falling in love, but Iris and Miles is a little bit rougher to like kind of fall into.
Iris and Miles
because it all starts out very just like it's all friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Graham and Amanda have this like physical connection. They've already slept together, but they don't want to get too involved because they're complicated.
They've had sex once, slept together twice.
So there's already this thing. But then when it comes to Iris and Miles, it's very much
they need to let go of there's a big part of their past that they need to let go of before they can really even think about that together.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it, because Adam and Graham are very much, I guess, at terms with what has happened, and that's just who they are a little bit.
Especially Graham.
He's
kind of the most grounded character in this entire movie, now that I think about it.
And then Miles and Iris have stuff to let go a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it just is now at this point, it's just kind of this buildup of cutting back and forth between the scenarios and what's going on with them.
And I think like the biggest turnarounds for it is like for Amanda and Graham, it's kind of like a back and forth of we shouldn't, but we do. We shouldn't, but we still are. We shouldn't, but we still are.
Well, like,
and then when she goes to his house, that's really important.
Well, I was gonna say, first you find out that Amanda has not cried since she was 15 because her parents split up very unexpectally to her.
Yeah. We were the Three Musketeers, is what we called ourselves.
And she had a complete breakdown about it and cried for X amount of time, never really for a very long time, and then it just kind of shut her off emotionally, and she has not been able to cry since she was 15. So that's like something she needs to overcome. And then when she is kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna enjoy my time with Graham, she decides to show up at his house unannounced. And this whole time it kind of seems like Graham has side girls.
He's got Sophie, he's got Olivia.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of girls that he's like talking to. And when she shows up, you hear like clinking and stuff, and Graham is acting weird, kind of like doing that hiding kind of behind the door.
Yeah, and he looks very like kind of like scared,
like
kind
panicked, like I got found out kind of vibe. And then lo and behold, the door opens up and there's a little girl standing next to him, and Graham is actually a widower with 2 young children.
I do like the reveal of the second daughter as well, because like the first one, everyone like as an audience member, you're like, huh, interesting. You're like, maybe your like heart breaks a little bit, like, oh, he's a single dad. And then all of a sudden the second one comes and you're like, oh shit, this just got more real.
But then it's also great too when he says the daughter's names.
Yeah.
Then it clicks with Amanda.
Yeah, because she had seen his cell phone ring with Olivia.
Sophia. And, like she's like, oh, that's who you've been talking to.
Also, why does a 3-year-old have their own cell phone with a name on it? Like,
oh, that's interesting.
I just thought about that. Anywho.
But then they have this whole conversation about why it's complicated for Graham, and Graham is a single father. But then Amanda has this whole thing about like, why wouldn't she tell her? And he has a really good response to like, I don't really know you, basically.
Yeah. He's like, I want to make sure that I really know a person before I even let them know, because I'm not going to introduce them to my daughters and have my daughters' worlds get ruined and have their expectations get.
Yeah. And it's like, he's a single dad. He has to, the kids come first, like always in front of.
Yeah. But also, I really like that he's also just like, I'm trying to compartmentalize these 2 different lives. Because also, I mean, it's got to be exhausting being a single dad with 2 kids that age, and then like still trying to find a way to possibly date or just like have that outlet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he makes a lot of like really strong, fair points.
Well, yeah, he's even like, I don't want to be I don't know how to date like the dad. I don't want to show up to a date with peanut butter on his jeans. And yeah. He's like, so when the kids are away, I can be the single guy, and
I can be charming Jude Law.
Yeah, I can be Jude Law. I can be like Jude Law. But
I can be like Alfie. Come on.
I can be like Alfie.
Yeah, and he eventually, they have a one more night together, and he admits his love to her.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I love you," and her response is, "Okay, what do I need to say?"
She
to
gets
this?
all cold and logical about it.
Yeah.
And
seeing him, and the Jude Law, great acting at this point. You can see his heart just kind of break, and just he's like, he feels stupid and embarrassed, and like all his emotion, and he's like holding back tears, and it's just like,
well, like
yeah,
him saying like, even like, if you don't know what to say at this moment, then that like means something along those lines. Like if you're not responding in that way, that kind of says everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like
he just lies down. He just lies down. He's like, let's just change the subject. Let's talk about how much of an ass I am being right now.
Yeah.
And just like, oh no, Graham, Jude Law, I'm sorry. Then let's flip back to Iris and Miles. So Miles, like, he sees his girlfriend Maggie with another dude while they're at the video rental store. That Dustin Hoffman cameo was just like randomly written in. Like I
was reading, he was just around.
He saw the lights and everything, and he walked up and just like, hey, can I come on set and say hi to Nancy? He's friends with Nancy Myers, and just wanted to say hi to her.
And for those of you that don't know, Blockbuster is an archaic establishment where you used to go look at physical DVDs in which to rent them. You would give them money, and they would hand you a disc in which the movie was on. I get sad anytime I see Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster.
Want to go to the one in Oregon?
I do. I actually really do.
All right.
I really
Do you want to rent the room and watch something there? Or do you
oh my God, yeah.
All right, we'll plan it. We'll do that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do that than the strip clubs, honestly.
Okay. Anyways.
I
only like the one for the strip room.
I know. So he then sees that Maggie's actually, not where she was on location.
She's been cheating
filming.
on him.
She was cheating on him. And so he's kind of heartbroken. And then Iris and Miles kind of have like a heart to heart about how they always like try everything they can in a relationship. And they always feel like, the other person just stringing them along type thing.
Yeah.
Like they'll mess up. They'll do something really big and mess up. And then as soon as they apologize, you feel like the asshole because you got angry at them over it and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I relate to that a lot.
But yeah, with them both like having this common thing. I mean, and this is also one of those moments, a PG-13 movie with a very well-placed fuck.
Oh, yeah.
After Iris explains her whole situation that she's like running from a little bit, he just goes, oh, fuck. You need this more than I do, and hands her the glass of liquor.
Yeah. And then, so, like, they have that nice little heart-to-heart, and then, like, the next day, they're having sushi, and you can tell that things are heading off with them, but then Maggie's calling him back.
And of course, she says jump, he says how high, so he takes off to go meet with her.
Yeah.
And then coincidentally...
And also, like, he's supposed to be dropping. He composed the music. He's like, this is the Arthur music, which is very, like, very Randy Newman-ish, I would say.
Yeah, we kind of Iris has convinced Arthur to go to this like tribute
for him, where he's just like, I don't want to go to this tribute because it's going to be 12
the Writers Guild of America.
It's going to be like 12 old schmucks just like that really liked my stuff. Like, no, I don't need it. I don't need that. And she's like, no, this is kind of a bigger deal. Like, and he's like, what am I going to be? And he's also kind of embarrassed about walking with his walker across stage and whatnot.
Yeah, so she convinces to help him like work out, and
there's a cute scene in the pool though.
Yeah, and like there's a whole montage of them working out together to get his strength back up so he can walk without the walker. Mm-hmm. So this is like a thing that both Iris and Miles are both planning with Arthur to do, and this is something that they have been like montage wise bonding over.
Yeah. Making
the music, helping Arthur pick out a suit, so on and so forth.
Then the cute scene with the music is like him. He's playing like, this is the Arthur music, and I was like, oh, this sounds like Arthur. Yeah, I like that. And he's like, also made one about that's you as well. And he starts playing like a little softer melody and whatnot, and it's kind of like, it's cute and whatnot. And he's like, I only chose the good notes. Yeah. And you can tell she's just like fucking swooning over it, and just little cute little extra of whatnot. And then Maggie calls, and
But then coincidentally, too, around this time, she gets a call from
Jasper.
Well, she decides to start reading the pages, which she had.
That's right. Jasper's like, he sends her pages to fucking
going back to what we were saying, like using her for her like skill as a writer. And so she kind of caves and starts reading it. But as she's going to, she gets a call from Jasper saying, "Oh, you have a present." She's walking around looking for this package. She opens the front door, and there's Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
and they have like this whole like he's like swooning her and being like his.
He's like I missed you. Like
I needed to see you.
I constantly am checking my email to see if you responded back to me. Like you're my everything type thing. I can't live without you.
And then there's this great moment where like she's like, so basically along the lines of, does this mean we're gonna be together? And he answers in this really roundabout way.
Why don't we run away to Venice?
Yeah, and then
like we'll find a weekend.
Oh, and then she says, "Are you free to?" And he goes,
Yes.
"Well, I came across the globe to see you." So, and she's like, "Well, that doesn't really answer my question. Are you still getting married?
Are you still engaged?"
And he's like, "It's very complicated for me." And then she just has this amazing.
It's her miracle.
Yeah, she loses her shit on him in the most perfect
it's
way.
so great. Yeah, when she finally kicks him out and has her like yes moment, I'm just like, yeah, you get it, girl.
Yeah, it was really good.
And
she has finally gotten over Jasper after 3 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess that's when we would cut to Amanda and Graham and the whole "I love you" scene, because we gotta have like a time separation for the Arthur thing. And then also like Miles, you see Miles and Maggie having a conversation, and she just looks kind of like defeated listening to her apologize.
Yeah, well, I got the vibe that he's like, even with this whole thing, he's thinking about Iris. He's not thinking about Maggie.
Yeah, I kind of get.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Like, very well edited and cut together to kind of like to give us that feeling. And well acted by Jack Black too. Yeah, he's not there.
He's not present.
Yeah, he's not present with it.
Yeah,
you know. So that we cut to Arthur. She's getting Arthur, and he gets her a corsage, and it's cute and whatnot, and she just takes him to the thing, and it's just this huge auditorium full of everybody just like there to like accept his like congratulate him for his like lifetime achievement and whatnot. And right as he's about to walk up the stairs on his own without his walker, the music that Miles composed starts playing, and Iris realizes that Miles is there. And then he runs down the aisle and, you know, says hi to her. And Arthur gets up, and Arthur's being his cute, rambunctious, you know, witty fucking old dude, old screenwriter dude. And then Miles asks out Iris to New Year's Eve.
Yeah. And then I guess the final, I know
we got to go to get Amanda's miracle.
Yeah, and so Amanda is now leaving the cottage, and goodbye to Graham and everything. And as she's driving away, her miracle.
She starts to cry.
She finally cries, and then she has this realization that leaving Graham, I guess, is what has finally made her like open up and drop her wall. And
he's a fucking writer, and you're an editor. You can fucking make it work anywhere. God damn it!
So she gets out, and this time she gets out of the car, and because it's driving too slow, and she runs down there, and she's out of breath, and it's funny. She finds him, and then she basically is like...
Oh, yeah, that was very long. Like,
that was long.
Run. It was very unneeded.
Very long. But it has a like realization, I can't leave before New Year's Eve because technically you said you love me, so that means we kind of have a date, and they embrace each other and kiss.
And he's already been crying, and I love when she shows up and he sees her, and he's just... yeah, I told you I'm a weeper.
I cry a lot. And then it basically ties up with...
he's like, well, I have my daughters on New Year's Eve. And
she's like, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
And then it cuts, and then it ends, basically wraps it all up with them, all the daughters, Graham, Miles, Iris, and Amanda all spending New Year's together.
Yeah.
A little dance party.
And it's a happy ending.
I did really like that it kind of ended on this open note. Like, we don't know how they're going to figure out the long distance.
Yeah,
we don't know who.
Because there's like especially a big thing with like Miles and Iris is kind of like more throwing caution to the wind. Like they're just saying yes to the moment.
Yeah.
While Amanda and Graham's is a little bit more like they know there's a complication that
a little
they
more
need to figure
structured.
out.
Because then you have like Amanda and her company she owns in LA, and then you have Graham and his children that live in London in the UK.
But Miles can be a composer kind of anywhere. And Amanda could probably or Iris could kind of be a columnist anywhere, really.
Yeah, I mean, even in 2006 too, a lot of that could be remotely done.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, you just need your studio. Well, like for composing, you need your studio, and for writing, you need.
I mean, you'd still be doing a good amount of traveling.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. What do we think of this movie?
I do kind of want to give it. Me personally, it's almost close to a Gizmo. That's how much I like it. But in all honesty, it's just a Mogwai.
I was gonna say just a Mogwai.
Yeah,
like it's feel good. Like we were saying earlier, it's very predictable, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking for something easy to digest that will just give you some warm feels.
It's interesting, like how much of just like a very common romantic comedy like formula it has. Like it feels in the way of it's almost like an old school 1950s romantic comedy, not a screwball comedy. It has like some of the slapstick that kind of is in that, but it definitely, yeah. It's almost like it would take me a minute to kind of like figure it out, but like Iris's story and Amanda's story are two completely different romantic comedy genres
that are now spliced together. I could see that.
Yeah, does that make sense?
I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, obviously, what we were saying, because you have the romantic comedy with the realist and the other romantic comedy with the romantic.
Yeah, it's like you have with Amanda's the Amanda's is really close to like almost that Hallmark one. You know, the uptight businesswoman that goes to the
meets the sensitive single father.
Yeah. You know, but actually with flushed out good characters.
Yeah,
like, and oh my god, when Amanda's in the house and she's taking off her jacket, she turns around and she's like, "Quick, tell me now if you're married. Now, tell me now." He's like,
"Yeah, that was funny."
Yeah,
like quickly, like, But yeah, I would say it's a solid Mogwai especially for what it is.
Yeah,
for what it is, I'm like, no, this is a really easily digestible, in my opinion, well written, fun, just little like feel good. If you're like, if you're having a bad day, throw this on there.
No, yeah, like I like it because I haven't watched it in a long time, and yeah, no, I was like, and
I'd never seen it.
A well of emotion, like I got a little emotional with Arthur's scene when like they're finally like admitting their love for each other. I get a little like, oh, happy with that, and then,
it's like
I think it's cute and it's fun. Like there's a lot of just funny moments where you just like
it was well
laughing.
casted.
Yeah,
I
really was like when Niles finally does ask out Iris, and he's like, well, I've never been to Europe. I guess, it could be a date on New Year's Eve in Europe. And then like, she's like, it's date. And they finally just do one little kiss.
Yeah.
It's not like a big makeout kiss. It's just like, finally, yes, they're together. And then it like,
she's just smiling. She goes, it like smiles. Like, yeah, it's a date. And just like a little kiss. It was cute.
And then it's like a cut to like, you just see both of them. And like Miles is kind of like a success kid. And you see Iris just kind of like in her squeal, just like look up, like, in excitement. And just like, oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, it was cute. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be like, ugh.
I was wondering if it like, I was like, is it going to be like a Hallmark movie for Tommy?
No. Okay. And that's the thing. I see that there are some like parts of it that you could definitely make that argument, but it's just better. It's a Hallmark movie that's good.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Do we know what we're doing next week?
Next week it's our banter.
Oh yeah, we're bringing that back. We're gonna do
That's good. It's the end of the year. I think this is actually it'll be released on like New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, we're gonna give you a rundown of like what our favorite stuff that we was throughout the entire. Not like the Mogwai Awards where we talked like what our favorite movies that we reviewed. More outside stuff.
Just
like TV shows,
stuff that we consumed in the last year
games.
that we like really enjoyed.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good way to put it. The good, the bad, and the ugly of 2021, right? That's what year we're in?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's the year, that's the year that's ending.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Cool.
Wait. We're on planet Earth, right?
As always, please like, subscribe, send us any comments, any reviews, anything you want us to work on.
Want to become a Patreon, you can go to Patreon and throw some money at us monthly. You don't have to, but it'd be nice to help us buy stuff.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, any way you say it.
Feliz Navidad.
Happy holidays and
Feliz Navidad.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. I stopped him for you.